Hey guys, Robbie. I got a special guest here to say something.
Greetings, this is Wonder Woman. You are watching Pros versus Noobs.
Uh, Actually, Wendy, that's supposed to be pro teaches noobs. I know you like how to do, you like to do fighting and everything, but not everything's always.
And today, this is Azula from Avatar The Last Airbender. We're going to teach you how pros do things. They do it better than their brother. They're about to celebrate becoming an only child.
Yeah, I hear you say that a lot, Azula.
Yeah, noobs are just twerps and they all need to go to bed. They sure are. I can't stand a noob. You know who's a noob? Billy from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I can't stand that guy. But he is my best friend, so whatever.
Oh, way to go, Mandy. So, yeah. What they said. Welcome to Pro Teaches Noobs. Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teaches Noobs. Today with me, Jared.
How you doing?
And today we're doing another Superman book, another Superman one-shot, also drawn by Eduardo Barreto like we saw before. But this one's an interesting one. Jared, did you know that post-crisis Superman wasn't just a reporter? He was also a novel. Clark Kent was also a novelist.
Yeah, I've seen that reference a lot in Post-Crisis.
Well, we're actually going to see what is in that book and how Clark came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, this is a clever idea of actually seeing how does Clark write this stuff and what kind of book is he writing. And it's a pulp story.
That's cool. I could see Clark doing that.
Yeah, he's writing fiction. You would expect him to write nonfiction, but no, he's writing fiction. Probably because he deals with enough nonfiction as it is.
Yeah, he's and his day job is like pretty fantastical. So
yep, but I love this. Look, even though this is not a hardcover, it's handled like a hardcover.
That's cool.
Oh, look at this, signed by Clark.
They even signed it. Yeah, that's great.
For my parents, Jonathan and Martha, whose love and support give me my real strength.
No dedication to his wife?
They're not married yet. Look, 94,
okay.
94.
Mm-hmm.
It's only those who do not and who do nothing that make no mistakes, I suppose. Joseph Conrad. Ozzy Winters was surprised to find only one man waiting for him at Toronto Field 40 minutes ago. One man. The Navy must have faith in this hotshot, he guessed, or maybe they didn't want anyone else for this mission. Distant but behind tinted glasses, his passenger hadn't said much of anything since climbing aboard the Ferris Kestrel, the finest helicopter Star City ever made, to Winters' way of thinking. To tell the truth, Winters appreciated the lack of conversation. He was piloting the Kestrel straight into Hurricane Joshua, which had shifted south and was heading for the northwest side of Corto Maltese. A C-141 transport owned by Caribbean Wind had scratched an engine and gone down the Atlantic, 100 miles north of Ozzy's landing field. Someone in the Corto Maltese Senate called the U.S. Embassy and requested aid. The plane carried primarily produce, but this flight also carried Juan Delgado, the Nobel Prize-winning poet, a national treasure, the voice and conscience of the island nation. Ozzy's Kestrel bounced against the increasing force of the wind. He hummed to himself, acutely aware that if they went down, there'd be no one coming for him. His passenger spotted the downed C-141 before Ozzy did, pointing through the rain-spattered windshield of the copter. It took a full minute before Ozzy could make out the plane's tail, bobbing up and down the violent surf. This guy has great vision, he thought. This is your game, Ozzy told his passenger. Ready? His passenger nodded as he unhooked his safety belt. Gotta do this fast. We don't have a lot of time. We get this wrong, you fly home yourself. If I have to. His silent passenger spotted the down plane before Winters did, pointing through the oh yeah. It took a full minute before Winters could make out the plane's tail. Yeah, this guy's got amazing vision, he thought. Stars make it through. Yeah, basically that's like if I have to. So tell me your name, hotshot, before you plunge into the abyss. Gunsry, David Gunsry. Well then, good luck, Gunsry. You're gonna need it. Once when he was 10, Gunsry swam to the center of the lake behind his family's Kansas farm. Too fatigued to swim back, he waited for his spotter to realize his plight and row the boat out to him. And in the seemingly endless wait, he would tire of treading water and sink below the surface. understanding that for the first time his own mortality, realizing that no one is invulnerable. Reaching the C-141, Gunsry found the plane's hatch. This wasn't time to finesse the lock or jimmy the hinges. This task required brute force and a little plastique. Everyone okay? See, the crew and Delgado were bruised and battered, but otherwise unhurt. As they climbed in the life raft, they watched their plane sink into the ocean. And thank God they were no longer on board. Gunsry, however, ignored the transport plane's final moment, concerned about a more imminent problem. In the heavy storm, the Kestrel had disappeared from view. With the helicopter gone, so were their chances. Tap, 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 tap. Who am I kidding? This is going nowhere. So how was that for the start?
That is such a cool thing where it starts off in the novel and then it goes to you start off like you're actually reading a novel and then it goes to panels. I like that.
Yeah, then he's like, this is going nowhere. Hey, I'll tell you this. It is better than Whom God Destroyed. He's stuck on that one page.
Anything is better than Whom Gods Destroy, Robert.
I know.
I'm sure the wedding between Clark and Lois is better than Whom Gods Destroy.
Hey,
that says a lot for me to say that.
Well, at least you know how bad it is.
Yeah, you know what's kind of funny? When we were going through that book, legit in my head, I was like, I should have gone with the wedding issue. I was like, at least that would be more. At least that book didn't make me violently ill.
Yep. Well, sorry. You said no, and I gave it to Tristan.
I know.
Hey, what is that smell? Don't start, Clark. I spent the last 2 days knee-deep in refuse aboard the Laszlo. The garbage scow stuck in Metropolis Harbor with no place to dump its cargo. Tell me your weekend was better. 3 days of pure solitude, and I couldn't finish a single page of this novel. I'm blocked, Lois. Big time. You? I don't believe it. Come on, I've seen you knock out a top-notch front-page story 15 minutes before press. News, not fiction. Reporting the facts a lot easier than making them up. Plus, since I bought my apartment, I owe everybody. Look at all these bills. Even with the final payment for the novel, I'm in debt through next year. You could always send your resume to LexCorp. The execs start at salaries higher than ours combined. Right. And I could also make a deal with the devil. Where is Clark Kent? No. What's wrong? Not her. She found me. Carol Chavez Schiffman, my agent. I've been dodging her calls all months. My novels, well, sort of due next week. It's nice to see you panic over a deadline for once. Go on, I'll cover for you. Hey, Clark, what's the rush? Jimmy, do me a favor. The woman in a hat asks, I'm not here. Excuse me, have you seen Clark Kent? Clark Kent? Nope. Haven't seen him, not for a long time. That man is never where he should be. He drives me absolutely crazy. You're his agent, right? You know, I have this idea for a book. I call it Eye on the Street, The Real Adventures of Photographer James B. Olsen. My beeper. So sorry, gotta run. Did I mention I'm Superman's pal? Gunsry didn't like living on the run, but lately it was all he could do to stay one step ahead of his problems. After leaving the service and graduating from law school, Gunsry joined Sean McNeil's Suicide Slum legal clinic. He knew from the start he wasn't going to get rich in his neighborhood, but he believed in fighting for the underdog. Oh, like Matt Murdock!
Yeah, exactly.
McNeil, what's today? Suicide Slum, Hell's Kitchen.
There you go.
You can't tell me they're not similar.
And Clark does look like he's wearing black. Someone's wearing black glasses. I'm just saying.
McNeely called him the city's hardest working Boy Scout. Unfortunately, merit badges didn't always pay the bills at the end of the month. Don't worry, Mrs. Santiago. We're not going to let your landlord force you out. You have rights under the Renters Protection Act. I told you, Mr. Gunsry's in a meeting. If you two would please wait. Listen, sister, Gunsry's going to see us now whether he likes it or not. The Tufts the collection agency sent were men to whom he could not explain the concept of pro bono work. Well, he could probably take both men in a fight. Right, Mrs. Santiago, I'll call Judge Stone. Get a restraining order on your landlord. You'll be fine. Violence was something he avoided outside of court. I don't know how I'll be able to pay you. Story of my life. Believing the better part of valor to be flight. One of these days, he promised himself he was going to get a real job. Knows what he's doing here.
Mm-hmm.
He's basing off of what he just did.
There you go.
Ah! One without the noise and aggravation. Repeat, firefight at the corner of Vernon Chase. Suspects are armed and dangerous. Request backup. Lots of backup. Boys, I don't think you've done enough damage. Uh-oh, it's the S-Man. What now, Kay? Stop acting like a scared 8-year-old and waste him. Before you do something profoundly stupid, consider surrendering and saving everybody some grief. Damn! I'll take that as a no. Wrong choice, but you'll figure that out soon. Sorry, 398? I've been remanded? It's been remaindered. It's been remaindered.
Oh, wow, that's great.
I'm sorry. Go on, Clark. You don't do that. Not as Superman.
Yeah, you don't say that as Superman because someone's gonna hear that.
It's like, why did he like? But then he gave me like, oh, but to be fair, he doesn't say like I've been remaindered. He said it's been. So it's like, well, it's his buddy Clark Kent. Oh, look, Steve Lombard on Sport. He has a book in the bargain with Steve Lombard.
Oh, there you go.
That's painful. Now I'm really annoyed. Get out of here, Kay. That heater ain't doing jack against that guy. No way. A Griffin never backs down. Not from the Gatados. Not from Superman. You craze, Kay. Craze. I can appreciate youthful enthusiasm, but your friend was right. You should have run. Save the lecture. I know you ain't gonna hurt me. You've got one of those, what do you call them? Codes of honor. True, but doesn't mean I can't hang you out to dry. These canon or LexCorp issue. Care to explain your how your 2-bit street gang ended up with high-tech firepower like this? I ain't saying nothing till I see a lawyer. Miss DeCosta will see you now. Mr. Kent, I'm a big fan. I couldn't put the Janus contract down. Thanks. That's good to hear. Any chance I could get an advance copy of your next novel? If I ever finish it. Whoa. Culta Maltese, last summer, best vacation I've ever had. I think that's your book on the chair. A vacation. There's a foreign concept, but that's not why I'm here. 3 members of the Griffin gang destroyed the Gaetano Social Club using LexCorp weaponry. Our Providence office filed a police report a month ago when those prototypes were stolen. Mr. Casa, are you saying a street gang circumvented LexCorp security? Mr. Kent, while LexCorp regrets what its technology has, that its technology was hijacked for criminal purposes, we cannot take the blame for damage caused by said criminals. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm doing court shortly. She's a fan, but she still works for Lex.
Mm-hmm.
And, whoo! Nice.
Yeah.
Corto Maltese, I bet you that's where you got the idea.
Mm-hmm.
He kept running the brick wall at every turn. And if he needed any other sign that it was time to leave the city. Okay, I just realized, I think this is separate from him, from this point.
Yeah.
Or it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it is.
Because anyway, it was time to leave the city. He couldn't get the image of the woman on the beach out of his mind. He's connecting it.
Oh, there you go.
So content, so relaxed, so far away. Pushing the limits of his already extended credit, Gun 3 booked a flight to Colta Monteith, intending to lose himself in the rich tropical expanse of the island. He wrongly imagined that little had changed since his Navy tour here years ago. Now stepping into the familiar tropical heat, he realized the climate had changed in other ways. Don't think about the soldiers and the gun, he told himself. You're just another tourist. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Nice. The luggage, I mean. Oh no, it's the speech bubbles. The text. It's the text for his book.
Yeah.
Notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Completely different. I like that.
That's kind of cool.
All right, nice. The luggage, I mean. Is that a line? I'm too poor to make passes at women with Voitian accessories. Too bad. There you are, darling. And thank God I finally found you, Clark. Carol, hi. Oh, I think it was all in his head.
Yeah.
As he's thinking about it, and he's writing it down. Carol, hi. I've been leaving messages all over town for you, sweetie. My God, you think you were leading some sort of secret life. I've been, busy. State landfills refuse garbage barge. Finishing your contractually due novel, I hope. Oh, wait, okay. How did her hair go from white to blonde back to white?
That's the colorist for you.
Yep. Probably a bleed over. I bet there's a bleed over from the hat.
Probably.
finishing, like I hope. The publisher is very, very impatient. And I keep telling him how good this new novel is. You know, you could still collect my best Planet columns. All new. They want new, fresh, like your first book, only different. To tell the truth, Carol, writing this book has been like pulling teeth. Writer's block, get over it, sweetie. See you next Friday. Kiss, kiss. Gotta run. I'd rather talk to that blonde from Channel 7. No offense, man, but nobody reads the paper. Caesar and Cubic, leader of the Griffin. Your rap sheet's a litany of assaults and narcotic charges. Tell me why the Griffins have declared war on the Jaytano family. They're kind of out of your league. What can I say? We're motivated. I just want to know where you got the weapons. Sears, where America shops. They were on sale. I think LexCorp supplied you the weapons. Even the big man himself gave me those guns, which I'm not saying. Why would I incriminate Lex Luthor? Do I look stupid? Lex Luthor owns this city. Every minute it sits in the bay, I'm losing money. Call Tennessee and convince them to take it. They owe me. I make sure the Opryum knows that I'm attending the Don Giovanni premiere. Luthor, Superman, come to welcome me home from the International Monetary Conference. Try and drop your weapons and stay away from Mr. Luthor. Relax, Eric. Superman often makes these unannounced visits. He's never heard the call ahead. I found these in the Griffin Gang's warehouse. Supplying weapons to kids now, Luthor? The Connor 7000, the Ion Pulse unit. I designed them for the Gulf War. Surely you don't think I'm providing street gangs with zip guns. Lex, we both know you're a power junkie with an obsessive need to control all of Metropolis, from the boardroom of downtown to the back rooms of Suicide Slum. You have a way with words, Superman, but you don't understand me. Power's a commodity I trade, like money and information, all means by which I shape the world to my own design. And just between you and me, lonely at the top, isn't it? Get your hands off me. Let's be civil tonight, Superman, and end this adversarial relationship. I made this offer when we first met, and I'll make it again. Work for me. Think about how much easier I can make your life. Run the LexCorp Charity Foundation for me. You can direct millions of dollars to the places where it will do the most good. Life is short. We could both be dead tomorrow. Why leave a legacy of only petty confrontations and conflict? Do some real good. I'd still be working for you. No thanks. You're so predictable. I'm afraid. I think you're afraid if you accept, you find the like, and you like the money and the power, and you fear falling from grace more than anything. Interesting. Mm-hmm. I like this. Mm-hmm. This is an interesting take on their information. It basically calls back to the Man of Steel, his first appearance at Man of Steel. Mm-hmm. I like that. A good reference. And I gotta say, it's also ironic that in a way now Lex got some of this with Supercore. Mm-hmm. Isn't that kind of ironic?
Yeah.
It's like you've had a rough day too, Kent. Mr. Costa. Joanna, please. Sorry about the brush off earlier. These 80-hour work weeks make me testy. Do you live around here? I'm in the Beckoff building. You can see my place from here. Top floor. Nice. You must be doing very well. It's what I dreamed of throughout law school. Partnership in a major firm. Too bad the firm's LexCorp. You genuinely dislike Luthor, don't you, Clark? Do you want sworn testimony, counselor? No, I just hope your antipathy doesn't extend to his employees. Besides, it's a job, and it sure beats struggling, if you say so. I do. See you around, neighbor. Again, she is a nice girl, lady. Mm-hmm. I like that. Again, reminds you that not all of Luthor's people are scum. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you mean payment was never received? I remember writing the check. I mailed it, and it was all my... Wait a second, I found it. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. Look, is there any way to get the power turned back on tonight? I can get you the check right away. Really? Not till morning? Okay, fine. Thanks. Come work for me. Think about how much easier I can make your life. It sure beats struggling. Maybe. Huh. And you notice how also Lex actually made him a good deal. Run the charities. He's actually playing a bit smarter here.
Yeah.
I like that too. It's like, it's like he's not telling you work for me as my bodyguard or deal with my enemies. It's like, just work for me. Do all this good. I like that. But of course, Superman's like, I'll still be working for you. Mm-hmm. Under a yellow sun floating. He's using DaCosta a lot in this story. Again, this is still when he's single. I don't think he's even.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah. It is still when he's single. This is 94, and hold on, let me double check.
He is the super bachelor. That'd be hilarious if they did like a parody comic of The Bachelor where it's like Black Canary, Wonder Woman, Lois, all the female characters of DC. And
Wait. This is when he proposed to her. But to be fair, it will be still in his mind. And it's not like he's acting on it with her. He's taking.
But still, he's fantasizing about another woman.
To be fair, I think it's also a case where she's fresh in his mind, so he's deciding to put her in the book. Besides, for all we know, he has another in Judah's contract. He probably has a Lois XP already, and he doesn't want to repeat it.
Still, I'm like, it's.
But he's picturing the story, though.
By the way, Robert, how about this? You actually have me on the show saying that's disrespectful to Lois.
Yes.
How about that? You finally got it, my brother.
Yep. Yeah, can I just double check? Yeah, the proposal was in 1990.
Because I'm like, I'm sorry. This doesn't seem like something Superman would do.
No, but again, she's fresh in his mind, and he's putting it into the book.
You can kind of get that.
Yeah. But,
yeah, I'm like, wait a second. Is she wearing anything?
Yes, she is, but it's completely see-through.
Yeah,
bare ass.
That's the other thing. He's fantasizing about her in see-through clothes.
Well, to be fair, this is the artist's rendition of it. We don't know if this is what Clark is picturing.
Yeah.
You know, that is a fair point when you say we don't know if this is Clark fantasizing this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one life abandoned, taken away by a tropical breeze. Another began. Yeah, he felt reborn. Yeah, like Superman would in the sun. And as he floated suspended between worlds, between lives, he heard the voice of an angel. You're a hard man to track down, Mr. Guthrie. An angel with a matching set of Voyatin luggage. Oh, so yeah, it's from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there. So yeah, he's keeping it consistent. And they're on the beach, so the desk clerk at the Hotel Aguila said you had checked out yesterday. Did you sleep on the beach? Angela, Zeus, and Zessel. I'm here to make you an offer. The only room I can afford. I've maxed all my credit cards. You have me at a disadvantage. Then Angela Zessel, I'm here to make you an offer. Just for listening to the proposition, my employer will pay you $1,000. Interested? Is that a line? $1,000. Guthrie knew there would be strings attached, but with no money, no job, and no home, he didn't have much to lose. Angela said little about her employer on their way to the Treasure Hotel, a one-time Spanish colonial estate renovated and rechristened by international commodities magnate Preston Traeger, surveying the hotel's upscale clientele, old and new money and their entourages. Guthrie wondered what would motivate one of those people to dangle a cool $1,000 in front of a vagrant like him. Friendly place. Do the guns come with the mints on the pillow at night? The island's politics have grown increasingly violent of late, and Preston Traeger is nothing if not careful. Traeger, that's who I'm meeting? A Vanity Fair article Guthrie once read called Preston Traeger unrepentantly aggressive and unstoppably kinetic, meaning he was a ruthless, brutal entrepreneur who bulldozed over anything in his past. Not a good idea, sir. We have a relationship with the general. Nonsense, Quinn. We need to prepare for every eventuality. So that's why also it's not Lois. She's working with the Lex XP.
Okay.
So that's the other reason why.
Mm-hmm.
David Guthrie, I knew Angie could find you. I'm confused. Why am I here? You're straightforward. I like that. In the next 10 years, Corto Maltese will become the major economic power in the region. I need someone to represent me to the island. Someone with respect of the people. Someone who saved the life of the country's voice and conscience. So that still happened, the beginning part. And so, yeah, okay. You want me because I rescued Joaquim Delgado 3 years ago? Think of yourself as a goodwill ambassador for my interests. In return, live here at the hotel and draw an obscene salary. So it's just like Lex, he's offering him a position. Stopping Gunther immediately accepting was the steel-eyed stare from Traeger's bodyguards. One question. Is the CIA holding a retreat here? Very perceptive, Dave. Yes, at one time, Quinn was a part of American intelligence, but I lured him here to head my security. All this sounds too... Yeah?
I just noticed something. Go up to the article. Yeah, right there. Why is the Navy SEAL saving a crashed plane crew?
It's fiction.
Still, I'm like,
No,
if
no,
he
no,
had
no, no,
said
no, no,
like
no,
Coast
no, no.
Guard.
No, wait. He was Navy SEAL. That's why.
No, but
No,
no,
no, no,
but
no, no.
it says it as if he is currently a Navy SEAL.
No. People will sometimes utilize that. They were former SEALs.
No, but they would say former Navy SEAL saves plane.
Okay. Dude, it's trying to fit it in there. If you notice that, the text is already smalled up as it is.
I know.
Adding former would make it even more crunched up.
I know. It's odd.
Right. All this sounds a little too good to be true. Dave, this is the promised land. Don't throw away a golden opportunity. Think about how much easier I can make your life. Ha! Guthrie heard his father's voice, reminding him that there was no such thing as a free lunch. Still, he thought, perhaps it was time to put aside the Puritan work ethic that drove him. Take life at a slower pace and learn to enjoy the view. Okay, Mr. Traeger, I accept. When do I start? Oh!
Mm-hmm.
He's actually going up with the story that what if he could indulge in it?
Mm-hmm.
Outfitted with a new wardrobe and given a suite that had a bathroom bigger than its metropolis apartment, Guthrie took to his newly created position as guest liaison very quickly. Traeger's only request so far had been that Guthrie socialize with his guests. You're from Kansas? That's practically another planet. My air conditioning is still not working. Sometimes it was harder than others. I'll have you know that I'm not paying $300 a night to swelter. I apologize for the delay. I'll speak to Miguel and maintenance, Miss Zubak. Don't you have something to do? Not yet. Why didn't they tell me about this job at career day at high school? Don't get too comfortable. Remember, when Traeger calls, you jump. And how high do you jump for him? Don't give me attitude. We both saw it ourselves. And face it, Guthrie, it sure beats struggle. Like, huh? And Jimmy! Sorry about that, Clark. I'll clean it up. Forget about the planet and the plant. What happened to you? I was at Pier 32, taking shots at the garbage scout for Lois. Nothing prize winning, just a little atmosphere. Nothing. The next thing I know, this big dock worker clocks me, and I hit the pavement. Then he grabs my camera like I'm not supposed to be shooting the Laszlo. Luckily, the dock was slippery, and I managed to get away. But I'm still seeing stars from that haymaker. Oh, let's take a look at the roll and see if we can find out why someone didn't want you there. All shots of the ship. Garbage, more garbage. That's Henrik Van Hook. Except for this. Oh, yeah, this one. Two guys arguing. Yeah. And what's Luther's head of security doing with captain of the Laszlo? Oh, for every man like Traeger, there's a Quinn nearby, hired to do his boss's dirty work. And nosy little, they take pleasure in violence and cruelty and rationalize their sadism as simply a professional requirement. What do you think you're doing, Quinn? And caught Joe Collins trying to hotwire the penthouse elevator, looking to ambush Mr. Traeger. What, and steal his soul with his camera? Come on, Quinn, he's just a kid. You don't have to rough him up like this. You want responsibility for this whelp? Fine, you can let him go. We have his film. Thanks. I'm Jess Rusky. I'm covering the political crisis down here for the College News Syndicate. Wanted a picture of your boss for a sidebar we're doing on the new Imperialists. Like, you were taking a big risk, Jeff. Like, you were too, Guthrie. Quinn won't forgive being challenged in public. You've made an enemy. At least I don't owe him money. So much for soaking up the sun, he thought. Storm clouds were rolling in. Riding on that old typewriter like taking a train when you can fly. What's the point? My dad gave me this when I was 12. Besides, I'm a fast typist. How's the novel coming? Jimmy got beat up for taking the shot of Luther's head of security to Laszlo. You're changing the subject. Lois was right. You're desperate for any distraction to keep you away from writing. Perry, I feel like I'm in the middle of the ocean and treading water. I can't seem to finish this novel. And I can't prove LexCorp supplying the Griffin gang with weapons. Ever think Luther has these kind of days? Since Superman's been in town? Definitely. Clark, we both know Lex is crooked. He'll get his one day, and I hope I'm there when it happens. His growing unease at the hotel made Guthrie hit the Esperanza docks where he hoped to find an old friend. And not the barrel of a 38 pointing straight at his chest. Listen, Slick, I don't know who you are, but you better give up my boat before I... At the academy, Philip Hawkins taught Guthrie how to survive on the sea and under it. Guthrie! No tougher and more demanding diving instructor existed. Son of a gun! I haven't seen you since San Diego, Lieutenant. Luther rank, son. I'm retired. What the hell are you doing this side of the equator? Working at the hotel. For Traeger? Bad news, son. Traeger bought that overpriced tourist trap just after the last free election, a couple months before General Damocles and his bullies seized power. You think Traeger had something to do with the coup? I think he made a deal with the devil. Like the 40,000 tons of trash aboard the Lazo, we're all garbage, used and discarded by the ruling classes. You having any fun, Clark? Sorry, Lois. Maybe I should be home writing. Exhale. You're driving yourself crazy. Look who's here. Frankie and Frankie no, mob boss about town. His sister owns the gallery. The Griffin's targeted social club. Clark, Lois Lane, Joanna DaCosta. And Lois, it's okay, Miss Lane. And Miss Lane's so angry about the restraining order I placed on her when she was harassing the chief of Lexcam. Ha! Griffin's rule! Any other gallery, and I think this was part of the performance. Stay down. Gaetano's goons are there going for their guns. Hate to ruin this artist's work, but I need to stop this before someone gets killed in the crossfire. Hope no one's looking. Put the guns away, gentlemen. My sister will kill me if she thinks I wrecked her place. Another LexCorp product. What's the slogan? Makes life better in Metropolis. Makes you proud to be a company player, eh, Mr. Costa? Oh my God, he's bleeding. It's okay, Joanna. An ambulance on the way. He's really bleeding. That explains more. She's never been in on this stuff. She's just worked a desk job.
Yeah.
Isn't it always interesting? It always takes being in one of these events for someone to have an eye opener. Especially when they're the good people. Outside the protective wall of Traeger's hotel, gunfire had become the persuasive wisdom of the jungle. Gunsry lied, reassuring the guests they had nothing to be concerned about. He wished he could convince himself. Who's shooting at us this time? Both sides. The army's on the west and Delgado's rebels on the east. Delgado's the Polish? He's no revolutionary. Since the Minikis took power, Delgado's led the opposition. Oh, the guy he rescued! God, I hate this. I hear gunfire in my dreams now. That socialist Delgado's going to destroy the island. That's why Traeger's sending us to meet with General Quinn to save the locals from themselves. A nearby thunderclap drones Quinn's expletive-laced response. There are kids in there! By the time he realized he was giving the snipers either side a 6'2" moving target, he was halfway to the bus. Gunsry! Let him go. If we're lucky, he'll step on a landmine. Damn Los Ninos. Like your Spanish is lousy, mister. Who the hell are you? Name's Gunsry. They're shooting wide. Let's hope they don't have mortars. You're one of Traeger's boys. Yeah, you don't act like one. Listen, the gunfire stopped. It's over for the time being, but they'll start fighting again. You can get off me now. Oh, there's Lois.
Oh, yeah. The abrasive attitude. Yeah, there you go.
That was stupid, Gunsry. You weren't paid to play Boy Scout. What was I supposed to do? Let him get blown to bits? Don't expect empathy from a guard dog, not in the middle of his master's war. What do you mean? You work for Traeger. Figure it out. Damocles never could have taken power without help. Let's go. We've wasted enough time. The general's expecting us. Right at Damocles' camp, Gunsry knew for certain he was in the middle of a war and wondered if he was on the right side. We need more automatics, Quinn. That's what we're here for, General. We're running guns? Traeger never told me that. Keep your voice down. It's an operating expense. It keeps the fighting away from the hotel. Clark, can I ask you something? Sure, Lois. Is there something between you and Joanna DaCosta? What? Last night when the ambulance arrived, you were so protective of her. She was in shock. That man was shot in front of her. She's one of Luther's top lawyers. She probably knows everything about the Griffins and how the Griffins got the gun. What does this have to do with us? Look, we've been seeing each other for a while, and if this isn't going to be exclusive, tell me. Lois, I don't have time for this. My novels do. You're using work as an excuse to shut me out. Clark, you're all afraid of failure. We're all insecure. That's what makes us human. When you want to talk to me, I mean really talk to me, you know my number. I think this is set when they were dating, but before he proposed.
Okay.
Clearly, unless there's something that pulls up, it was like she could see right through me. Straight through every rationalization that might justify being a part of Traeger's weapon dealing. The truth hurts when it slaps you in the face. Get a shot of this, Jeff. Once again, we've received half the shipment of medical supply we order. The other half was confiscated by Dominic's guards at the soldiers at the docks. Jeez, this won't last 6 months, 3 months, let alone 6. Rebecca, that's the guy I told you about from the hotel. We've met. Miss Carr, I need to talk to you. I don't think you want to hear the things I have to say, but if you're going to stick around, make yourself useful. I did some check at the hotel. Found out that you're the Rebecca Carr, one-time correspondent for the Gotham Globe. Now you run this Red Cross Center. Any of your detective work have a point? What do you mean about Traeger starting this war? The old administration was unsympathetic to Traeger's business, so we funded Dominique's and junta. With no democratic recourse, is it any one of the people are fighting back? So why take your anger at Traeger out on me? Look, Country, I appreciate your helping me get the kids out of the bus, but all this concern doesn't make you any less an accomplice. Follow me. I'll show you what Traeger's really done to this island. Right now, I've got a hospital crowded with victims of the fighting, and not half the supplies needed to treat them. Hello, Mr. Guntry. Delgado, you two know each other? Mr. Guntry saved me my life during Hurricane Athena a few years ago. You are friends with Rebecca? He works for Traeger. A pity. Your employer and I do not share the same vision of Coastal Maltese. I didn't know that you. I mean, was it shame he fell under Delgado's paternal gaze? Oh, well, we make choices and live with them. Now, you will excuse me. These days, I cannot stay too long in one place. I won't tell anyone he was here. Don't do me any favors, she said. Lois? Joanna? Hi, I called the doorman, and I told the doorman I was your cousin. He didn't believe me, but he let me in anyway. Fire that doorman!
Yeah.
Fire that idiot!
Yeah, exactly.
Can I come in? Yeah, I guess. Sorry about the mess. When I'm in the middle of a big project, everything else goes to hell. Me too. My place looks like a fallout zone when I'm in court. Your parents, huh? Looks like you grew up in a Norman Rockwell painting. Joanna, you didn't come here to talk about my folks. After watching that man almost die at the gallery, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking that maybe Elaine was right, that I am partially responsible. If you have any evidence LexCorp supplying the Griffins, off the record, I have my suspicions. Things the other partners have said. You could help indict. Get real, Clark. I know how futile criminal action is against LexCorp. They can get away with murder. That's why they hire lawyers like me. Why tell me that? You know, I have everything I dreamed of when I was struggling through law school. A partnership in a prestigious firm, a 6-figure income, and then I met you, and I wonder about what I've missed, because I was wrapped up in my career. I'm going to Boston Friday. I got half a day's work and then the whole weekend free. Do you want to join me? Joanna, I'm involved. Lane, right? Oh, God, it's true. The good ones are taken.
I know. We're all upset. We're all upset, Joanna.
It took every ounce of will to ignore the smell of her hair, the feel of her skin, and it wasn't enough. Again, he's indulging! He's writing what he can't do. No, he's writing what he can't do. Like even accepting Luther's proposal. I like that. He's writing the stuff he can't do in real life. Mm-hmm. Like a decent writer would do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is wrong. The island's on the verge of all civil war. And you can't save the whole world, Guntry, so why not enjoy yourself? But you think too much. Yeah, this is Guntry. Right. Traeger wants to talk to me. I've got to go. Where did he lose the strength to stand up to someone like Traeger? Was it when he chose to run away from his life in Metropolis? Whoops! Whoopsie! That was a bad grammar. Mm-hmm. Hi, this is Lois. I'm never home. Leave a message. Beep. Yet another state landfill refused to the Laszlo's cargo. Oh, meaning the garbage scow will continue to stay in Metropolis Harbor. Back to you, Rob. Thanks, Diane. Now let's go live to the LexCorp Pavilion, where Lex Luthor has begun his morning press conference. We have all watched in dismay as Metropolis has become a shooting range for an increasing criminal element. With the city's future in mind, the LexCorp Foundation is proud to donate $1 million for the construction of a community center in the heart of Suicide Slum's most dangerous gang territory. I do this in hope we can end violence and restore peace. Traeger's practice sincerity is almost convincing. I won't pretend to be a philanthropist, Guntry. Civil war is no good for my business. That's why I convinced General Dominguez to negotiate with Delgado. And you want me to get in touch with Delgado. You saved his life a few years ago. He'll trust you. Some people say you put Dominic kids in office. I'm just a businessman trying to protect my interests, which happens to be the island as well. All right, I'll find Delgado and give him the message. And then I quit. Sometimes money can't buy the last word. The rebels' first camouflage sentry spotted him half a mile back. The second was equally well hidden to his left. He made no effort to acknowledge their presence until they judged him no threat and stepped out of the shadows. Once they were certain he was unarmed, they would lead him to their poet revolutionary. You're a man of resource, Mr. Gun 3, but I think your heart is not in your work. Dominicus is willing to sit down and talk. Traeger arranged it. Do you believe it is an honorable request? No. The snap of a branch stopped him mid-sentence. Any other place he might have ignored, but not here. Get down! Quinn! Damn, I was sure no one followed me. That ex-spook's better than I figured. We'll have to break camp. Again, I owe you my life. No, not this time. Traeger hired me knowing I could get to you. He set me up. He couldn't return to the hotel. Traeger attempted to terminate more than his employment. He planned to make Traeger regret this big decision. Clark, Lois, are we still talking? I'm at the office. Clark, this is your agent. You're making me absolutely nuts. Please tell me the novel's finished. Kiss, kiss. It's your mother. Beep. It's your mother. Just called to tell you the Laffendeeks had twins. Other than that, Smallville's the same as ever. Love you. Beep. Hi, Clark. Joanna, about the Griffin and LexCorp. I found the proof you wanted. God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Look, just meet me at the airport. I'll explain then. My flight gets in at 5. Beep. 5. Vroom. Is the Boston flight here yet? It just arrived. After walking away from so many near-death experiences. Oh, no! He had convinced himself he was invulnerable. Joanna! Forgetting how very vulnerable the rest of the world was. Buddy, you can't go in there. You burn up. But pal, there's nothing anyone could do. No one survived that. How very mortal. Looser. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't see that coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
He grew up believing that good would be rewarded and evil punished. He wondered now if he'd been fooled. I'll lead to this Traeger. Not Traeger. This is Gun 3's thoughts, but now it's overlaid here.
Mm-hmm.
How he wondered now if he'd been foolish to put faith in such a simple moral code. Too often, and look, he's hovering over them. Mm-hmm. Too often he had seen innocents suffer and the guilty walk away. Officially, her death was an accident. Any evidence suggesting otherwise? No, this is his thoughts. Would be, oh yeah, it is his thoughts. Would be lost or destroyed. I don't care what Cross wants. Tell him this isn't Chinatown, and call Seattle another plane and order another plane. Money would buy the truth. But how easy would it be to exact justice in kind? Oh, he is tempted to kill Lex.
Oh, there you go.
Like he couldn't get the image of her dead body out of his mind. Miserable crud. Her Jeep. Oh, so he wrote it in that she died too in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like her Jeep didn't go off the cliff accidentally. You killed her. Blame yourself for dear Angela's death. If you hadn't convinced her to take documents detailing my armed deals to Dominic Kiss, you're going to pay. My God, you are naive. This is about profit, not morality or politics. Try to see things from my point of view. No thanks. Give me that. Put that gun on. You're not going to use it. You're too weak. He was so smug, so certain. He was so certain, so wrong. Luther fell asleep.
All right, there you go.
Huh?
They like crushed the statue.
I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Staring at the blood-stained and blood-riddled body of President Traeger, all he could do was laugh bitterly. When you make a deal with the devil, he always takes your soul. Pretty hard boiled, Clark. Give me that. Sorry, I was waiting and waiting, and it was on your desk. So that's how your book ends. Gun 3 kills Traeger. I think that's pretty clear. Blowing the bad guy's brains out is no solution, and it's surprising to read from one of the most good-hearted men I know. Nihilism doesn't become you. Maybe I finally realize that justice is the real fiction. Lucius supplies weapon to street gang, turns Metropolis into a war zone, and the courts will never touch him. This is about Joanna DaCosta, isn't it? You blame yourself for her death. You're right, Lois. You're always right. I haven't solved anything. Just as she said, he was no killer. This moment, that moral certainty seemed a hollow comfort. He felt an overwhelming need to fly away. far away. But in his heart, he knew he had nowhere to run. No matter how foreign the country, no matter how remote the location, he couldn't distance himself from the cold, hard truth. A woman was dead, and he was to blame. Thought I'd find you here. Perry, whenever I hit a wall, I agonize for a while, then end up retracing my steps, looking for the angle I missed. 80,000 tons of metropolis trash out there. It's a wonder the city doesn't collapse from its own weight. I know what you're trying to do, and I appreciate it, but I'm okay, honest. You're a lousy glider, kid. Anyone can see you're knotted up inside. I got so wrapped up in the stupid novel, I didn't realize Joanna DaCosta was in danger until it was too late. I know it's not fair, Clark, but that's life. People get hurt, and people die, even when we try to protect them. Do yourself a favor. Finish the novel, then wrap up the LexCorp story. And remember, your friends aren't the enemy. You don't have to face your problems alone. Hawkins didn't need to be asked twice. If Gunther intended to knock Traeger out of his ivory tower, the old soldier was prepared. So he's rewriting the ending. The old sailor was prepared to help him, come hell or high water. And with Hurricane Simone, another hurricane, headed directly for Corto Maltese, the latter seemed more than likely. Should have killed that bald vulture when you had the chance. Done us all a favor. Not my style, Phil. I'm going to cripple his arms dealing. Make sure he won't play games with people's lives ever again. The radio said Simone would hit the island in 2 hours. You don't have much time. That's why I need help. Bad time to make a social call, Gunsry. You make the damnedest entrance, Gunsry. What do you want this time? And you're here, and Traeger's ready to plunge this island into full-scale war. And you're here to gloat? Harsh, Rebecca, harsh. No, I need your help. My help? You're kidding. I've been coming at the looser angle all wrong. I need another perspective. I know I've been a jerk lately. I'm sorry, Lois. My life was much easier before you came to Metropolis, Clark Kent. Take off. I'm staying with the jerk. Figures. Here's something we miss. Laszlo is owned by Medicae International, an Italian company recently bought out by one of Lex Luthor's dummy corporations. And the landfills refusing Laszlo's cargo belong to the Gaetanos. Garbage is dirtier business than I saw it. Every day the Laszlo stays in the Metropolis harbor, Lex loses money. So he gives the Griffins weapons to disrupt their business and make them more willing to deal with LexCorp. Joanna's handled LexCorp's corporate acquisition. She must have found out about the Medici connection before Ben Hook blew up the commuter jet. Ben Hook? He pulled a safe stump in Laos in 75 when he was working for CIA. Simone's 80 miles an hour wind knocked out the power across the island. General Dominicus declared a state of national emergency. Except for a scattered handful of soldiers, the streets were empty, allowing Gunther's journey to the hotel to go unnoticed. Traeger security wouldn't expect anyone to climb the 5 stories to the penthouse office in the storm. It wouldn't be enough for Gunther to have proof of Traeger's clandestine arms deal. Rebecca told him Delgado needed to know the time and destination of the next shipment. If the hurricane delayed Dominicus soldiers from claiming the guns, Gunther could get them first, assuming he could get out of the hotel. A Portuguese ship arrived yesterday with a cargo load of Israeli weapons. I told Traeger you become a problem. Gunther was certain, almost certain that he could disarm Quinn, but now was no time for a heroic stand. A judicious and speedy retreat had to be made. So the only exit available. In a split second of fancy, he imagined himself flying, but the reality of landing quickly intruded on that short-lived daydream. Thankfully, he judged the hotel pool's location correctly. Otherwise, his bold and he admitted foolhardy exit would have ended painfully on the concrete below. Gunther knew his lead time was running out. Quinn would already alert his men, and soon they would radio Dominicus soldiers. He would have to run interference. Give this to Delgado. Tell him the weapons are on the Portuguese freighter docked at Esperanza. Maybe we could even things out a little. Maybe. Get in the truck. You can't stay. No argument. Go! Oh, look at that!
That's badass.
Your persistent interference in LexCorp business ends now, Superman. This is the Connor 9000. 2 generations behind the obsolete models we supplied to the Griffins. Make no mistake, this will kill even you. That's been claimed, and that claim's been made before. I hope you kept the receipt. You don't know the restraint I'm exercising right now. As much as I'd like to make you eat this Tinker toy, the state's opened and going to need you in one piece to make their case against Luthor. You're luckier than you deserve. I'm leaving for the police. They can sweep up the trash. Traeger's intricately laid plan for cultural motifs were unraveling alarmingly fast. Instead of the security laid unconscious in the mud outside the hotel, worse, Delgado's men had liberated a shipment of Israeli guns from the docks, while General Dominguez was getting his stomach pumped after an evening of too much vodka and Valium. Given time, Traeger could find a new set of greedy locals to manipulate maneuver. But presently, although the pilot had warned him of the danger of flying into the storm, Traeger was certain it was more dangerous for him to remain on the island. Guntry, you self-righteous fool! You'll know when to leave well enough alone. Watch it! You're making me lose! Guntry questioned his overwhelming need to stop Traeger's flight at any cost. He never saw himself as a hero. Maybe he needed to prove that even if the good guys didn't always win, neither did the bad guys. As the cold waters of the Caribbean rushed into the cabin of the downplane, Guntry considered leaving the impact shocked Traeger in the watery grave. Swimming to shore would be a difficult task alone. Carrying another man in this turbulent waters might prove impossible. Who is he kidding? Happy Guntry? Because of you, we're both going to drown. Traeger, if I'm going to save your misbegotten life, I need to stop struggling and shut up. What about the pilot?
Just leave him? Interesting.
Oh, no, wait. The pilot is still good.
Okay.
He just didn't say it. This was the trouble with you listening to your conscience. The choices were never easy, and the outcome never guaranteed. Done! You amaze me, Clark. 313 pages of typewritten manuscript and only 7 typos. That's all you have to say? It's Rebecca Carr supposed to be me? No. Yes. Sort of. No matter how hard how I try to separate the two, my life always filters in my work, and vice versa. Plus, you can live out your heroic fantasies in your fiction. Well, the rest of my life is pretty mundane. Present company excluded. Exception noted. We make a good team, Miss Lane. Don't you forget it, Mr. Kent. Luther, outrage at employees' crimes. Ah! You and your guests are cordially invited to the 27th Annual Zenith Award for Excellence in the Media. As journalists, we can no longer feign detachment from our subject. The people in our stories affect us, and we affect them by our coverage. And though true objectivity is an impossible goal, professional responsibility is not. Some party, eh, Clark? Everyone who's anyone is here. Oh, yeah, you almost forgot. This arrived at the office after you left. Thanks, Jimmy. And nice tux, by the way. Hey, gotta look good. I'm shooting for the society page, and I'm supposed to be on the lookout for Bruce Wayne and some actress. Clark, I wanted you to know that I'm not dead. Sorry I couldn't let you know sooner. I hope you understand. I missed the flight back from Boston. When I heard about the explosion, I decided it was wise to stay in hiding. Lucy's got a long reach. Guess I wasn't made to fight the good fight. I'm not the idealist you are. I wish things were different. Jay, Joanna's alive? Fan mail from some flounder. It's from some flounder, Kent. Luther, just read Under a Yellow Sun. Fabulous book. I had my security tell the Germans I was in conference while I finished it. And Preston Traeger, what a great villain. Glad you thought so. You know, I can arrange for LexCorp Publishing to buy out your Prometheus contract. Geez, thanks, Lex. But I'm pretty happy where I am. So tell me, Kent, where do you get your ideas? Smile, everybody. We'll talk later, Kent. Missy, you look stunning. Male bonding with Luther, Clark? I just heard Van Hook's telling prosecutors he acted without Luther's knowledge. Luther's Teflon, Lois. Nothing sticks to him. The gunfire had stopped. Dominicus, second in command, had taken control of the armies and begun negotiations with the rebels. It was the quiet after the storm. The U.S. extradited Traeger on trade violations. He's sitting in a federal cell in Miami now. We shouldn't kid ourselves. He'll probably get off. You could have let him drown. No, I couldn't. I had you figured all wrong, Guntry. When it came down to the wire, Traeger's money couldn't buy you. Think maybe you made out with your soul intact. If not my wallet, guess I'll never get rich. But at least I can live with myself. About the author. Clark Kent is a Zenith Award-winning journalist and columnist for the Daily Planet. He lives in Metropolis. Clark, Prometheus loves you, darling. Under Yellowstone is already one of the top and bestsellers lists. It's not too early to think about the next one. Call me. Kiss, kiss, Carol.
Not bad. I liked it.
Oh, and then Yep, never mind. You didn't buy it. But what did you think about that?
That was pretty cool. It was confusing at times when he was trying to merge the two lives together, but I was like, okay, overall, I liked it.
Oh, and it was two different artists. Carrie Gamel, great artist, and Gerardo Barreto doing the two different sequences.
Okay, I see.
So, but yeah, overall, very good story.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
What did you like best about it?
Well, I liked how like kind of unexpected it is that Clark could write what amounts to be a spy novel. But I also, even though it was a little confusing, I did like how like the two worlds started to kind of bleed together a little bit.
Yeah, especially how like Joanna's death ended up being like, we don't even see what happened to her counterpart's death, but we're told about it.
Mm-hmm.
But now, do you think he really was infatuated with her, or do you see it was a case where it's Clark? He, much like Diana, cares for everyone, unless they're scum.
I'd say I don't know.
I don't think he was. Maybe a little bit infatuated. I mean, he's a red-blooded male just as much as anyone, even if he's Kryptonian. But obviously, he's still loyal to Lois. So it's a case where like there's no denying she's gorgeous. So I gotta say, could you tell that there was a different artist for the two? Because it's hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with
that?
A
little bit. That's the other thing. I didn't know there were two artists because it's like, okay, because they managed to keep each other's like
styles.
Yeah, styles consistent.
But still slightly different enough. But yeah, I gotta say Lex's plan here was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I gotta appreciate Clark's, having this issue of writer's block and everything.
Yeah.
Because again, it goes back to the notion of why is he a writer? Because it's one of the few things his powers can't help him with. Oh yes, he can type fast, yes. But he doesn't have super literary powers.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I always loved about that. Would you agree with that? Like, that is one of the few things. Everything else comes easy. Everything else. Super smart, leading great to science or sports or whatever. But because, science, it's factual. You can use super smart. Super smart does not make you a great writer.
Yeah.
Or as he put it, especially writing fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great seeing him struggle. What do you think with the fact that him so focused on the novel caused him to be distracted from realizing just how much Joanna needed help?
Yeah, again, it places Superman in a situation where he can't like punch his way out of this, because that's the hallmark of a good Superman story. If he has to use if his powers aren't enough.
Yep, and I gotta say, I also like how, he could have ended it right there, the easy ending.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, he came up with a better, longer ending. But I do like it was Lois who called him out on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, come on. If there was someone who was going to do it that was in this book that wouldn't be an out-of-nowhere cameo, it would be Lois. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Lois would be the one to call him out. And again, he's being emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like it again. He's doing stuff that, again, living his fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, he wants to kill Lex. So he kills the criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but again, I wish we would see moments like this. We rarely ever got a moment like this, that he could very well have just assassinated Luthor right then and there.
Yeah.
Like I say, I also like this. You think, oh my God, oh no, Lex fell asleep.
Because it's also a little bit of smoke coming up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's the cigar.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then, again, but I love that. He's using stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Man, boy, imagine a level like that in a Superman game of using stealth.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, everyone's always thinking about, oh, he just plowed his way through. Not always.
Yeah. It would be easy for him to use stealth because he can just hang out in the roof all the time.
Yeah, but in this case, look, he's hovering his way through because he knows if he did the window,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's taking out the cameras and everything. Like I say, again, this was a good story. And again, I like this idea of him writing a character who was like, what if Superman did take Lex's offer?
Yeah.
It's like, again, something he would never do.
Mm-hmm.
again, this was really good. Now that we see, now we know how things played out for Joanna, all this makes more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Even though, again, why is she?
Mm-hmm.
But again, it makes more sense with the greater context of it all. But again, okay, how does this compare to what we went over last time?
Last time, as
in the Lex Luthor book.
This is about on par. I enjoy both pretty equally.
Yeah, and I would say, I mean, Eduardo Barreto, great at drawing this Lex, or great artist in general, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say so.
But and again, this is the same guy who wrote the Elseworlds Finest and the Dark Side. So, and you kind of see that here, don't you?
A little bit,
Especially the Elseworlds Finest.
A little bit, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you were to rate this, I wouldn't say that. I will say this: this is not one of the best Superman books of all.
No, I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a solid one. It's very solid. And it's a good self-contained book. And again, it's one of the few times we get in the head of Clark.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Of getting in his head. I can say also, I love the whole bit with his agent, just like, she's this old woman who's like, kiss, and all that. Just like, even in her writing, she writes it like.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just really, really great stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just so nice to see how Clark writes. I mean, did you ever expect that this is how Clark would be a write? Again, like you said, you wouldn't expect him to write something a pulp like this.
Yeah, exactly.
But it works.
Mm-hmm.
And but again, like he missed though, his real life bleeds in, like anyone's work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Lois tipped that off because of, he changed the ending. And I think that's what tipped her off too.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it funny? Lex liked the villain.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Lex actually enjoying Clark's book.
Mm-hmm.
That surprises me.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact he mentions the villain, that he mentioned the villain means he actually did read. He's not bullshitting.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think that's a good way of humanizing him, but still keeping him able. Showing that he'll read a good book.
Mm-hmm.
A good nonfiction book. Because, hey, he get bored.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, and even that, but of course, then he used it to lead to saying, we could buy out your publishing contract.
Mm-hmm.
But again, so probably read it, and I bet he was going to skim it, but then he liked the villain so much, he had to finish it. You want to bet?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, again, I wish we would see more of Clark like this. Again, this felt like this, I hate to say this to you, dude, this felt like something that was lost with the New 52 Clark. Like, I could not see this New 52 Clark writing a novel.
If they gave him the chance to, he could.
He could, but I don't think anyone was interested in that.
Well, that's the problem.
And if I had to say also, think about this. You saw Superman more often in New 52 than you ever saw Clark.
I saw him a fair amount. I saw him a fair amount.
I know, but I'm saying when you look at it overall, I'd say...
Well, because that's what Action Comics was.
True. But I'm just trying to say, though, that this is something that felt like the character... This is one thing I do love about post-crisis. You have creators who cared and would focus on not just Superman, but Clark as well. And that's also...
At the expense of his Kryptonian heritage.
To a degree, but you've seen through some of the stuff we've gone over, it wasn't as bad as you probably in some
Not
regards.
as bad, but let me put it this way. The overall trend that I noticed from even the post-crisis books that I read to this is that.
All right. Now, well, remember when we went over Eradication, the Eradicator story? That one, I think, it went a little far, but it made a good story out of it still.
Yeah, but to a degree, it's odd for me.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be until the Berganza era that we would start to have a balance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, that's when they try to retcon and say post-crisis Krypton didn't happen. It was pre-crisis, and you gotta be honest, that's going a little too far. Just simply saying, "I lied to you. This is the real Krypton," when it's like, everything contradicts that.
Yeah.
You gotta be honest, that is dumb, wouldn't you say, to just simply try and say, oh no, pre-crisis Krypton is real Krypton, but that goes against all the Eradicator stuff and everything. You can't fit that in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so very good, solid Superman book overall. So thank you for joining me in this one, Jared. Thank you, everyone else, and See you guys on the next one.
See ya.
Take care.